Initiating programming.
3, 2, 1. Emanating from the world-famous Hotter Show Studios, this is Two Guys in a Game.
Alrighty, hey everybody, it's Kaz.
And I'm Hotter.
And we are here with our first official episode.
First episode.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
And for those of you who listened to our pilot, we hope you enjoyed it. And today we're going to just, we're going to take it a little, easy here. And we're going to let you guys just get to know us. The guys who are behind the podcast, just so you have a feel for it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm going to have TJ here just start us off on, some get-to-know stuff.
Absolutely.
He's got it all done here.
So obviously, if you guys listen to this, you most likely heard the pilot episode in which me and Kaz talked about our top 10 favorite GameCube games. And that was just kind of give you guys a taste, kind of a feel of what this podcast is going to be and what we are going to discuss. Obviously, that is, Kaz and mine, it's one of our favorite things in the entire world, video games.
Video games!
Video games!
Oh!
I'm Pickle Rick!
And of course, there's going to be a tons of different things that we talk about on this podcast. Aside from just one specific video game, we're also going to talk about gaming news and what we're playing this week. And
Mexicans.
blah, blah, blah. Probably Mexicans. And we're going to go off on tangents.
TJ said I couldn't say that, but I said it because I'm a rebel.
He does what he wants. Cazador Jones, folks.
Cazador Jones.
Cazador Jones. So basically, as the title says, this is just kind of a meet the guys and get to know us. So there's things we're going to go into, kind of talk about some of our favorite games, talk about what type of gamers we are, some of our favorite
Type
consoles.
of Mexicans are our favorites.
Okay, let's just lay off the Mexicans.
Okay, well, I just really...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Mexicans.
Dude, if they get over the wall, they're like heroes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Rick.
And copyright ban.
And just flagged right off the bat. 2 minutes in, we're flagged. Oh, God damn it.
Got to take risks to get somewhere, man.
Absolutely. But before we start, I would like to take a second to give a shout out to somebody, even though this is our first official episode. This individual heard the pilot and went out of his way to take a second to basically hit me up and say, hey, really enjoyed it, really enjoyed the content. And that's my good buddy, Mr. Braden Jeffrey, actually the bass player for Outshined. So shout outs to you, Braden. Thank you very much, man, for the kind words.
Really
the
appreciate
pilot.
it. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It was cool. When you start a project like that, when we did that pilot, I was pretty confident people were going to enjoy it because so many people said that they enjoyed when I had you on the Hotter Show.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, you guys have this really fun, cool chemistry. So when we tried this out, I didn't know exactly how the pilot was going to go with.
Oh, I knew right from the beginning.
You knew it was just going to be...
because I'm a time traveler, so I've already seen the future. So I'm just here just to fill the role. Like, I already know how this is all going to go. I mean, I never had any lack of confidence. Like, teacher was like, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if Zach sucks? And I was just like, okay, then what if I suck? Right, okay. Huh. Yeah.
If anything, I was worried about me sucking because it's different, like when you're co-hosting aside from hosting.
Yeah.
When you're hosting, it's easy because you just go on and babble on for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Like I usually do, whereas this is different because now there's someone else who can jump in and say things and all that kind of fun stuff.
Like Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Exactly.
See, it doesn't have to make sense. I can just cut him off whenever I feel like it.
Soundbite king. it's like you can just cut me off. If I'm going off on a trail and you're like, what are you talking about? Just cut me off.
Yeah.
Kind of like right now.
Well, okay.
But the thing is, obviously, Braden, again, thank you, man, for that. And what we did last time on the pilot episode
will never be done again. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This is the end of the podcast. Shut it down. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, you're never going to hear another top 10 GameCube games list from us or anything. So
yeah,
you want to
we
check
don't
that
have
out.
top 10 anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to do top 10s anymore.
GameCube sucks.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves, people.
GameCube sucks, bro. Nintendo in general just sucks. Sorry, Braden.
No, I don't agree with that.
No?
I don't agree with TJ. I'm not affiliated with this man at all. Wait, that's not true. Never mind.
That's not true at all, but that's fine.
It's the exact opposite. Okay.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, Kaz, my good friend.
Yeah.
What are you playing this week?
Sorry. No, I know what I'm playing. I'm just being an idiot. I'm playing New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah? Going back?
Yeah, I just I'm just trying something different in this playthrough, like I always do. And this one, I'm just kind of like, how can I look like a total badass in this game? Make as many caps by trading and bartering, and then walk around with an anti-material rifle and shoot everybody that I feel like. Literally, there's nobody alive in the game right now. It's just me and my followers.
So you're doing like literally the kill everything playthrough?
Well, kind of, but I'm just kind of playing it, and then like. The other day, I was like, I wonder what's in Gun Runners. You know, Gun Runners in New Vegas, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the factory, and I'm just kind of like, I wonder what's in there. I've never actually been in there. So like, I picked the gate. All the guards are coming at me, and literally like my followers just have like Veronica is one of my followers, and she's got like the best power armor in the game, and she's got Caesar's power fist, and just walks up, and just starts punching people across the wall, and I'm just like, I don't even need to be. I can just walk in anywhere, and these guys are just gonna be like. So yeah, I went in there, and it was really boring. Actually, I was really disappointed.
Yeah, there's not really anything in there.
There's like a gun, one gun. I'm like, well, this isn't Gun Runners. This is Gun Runner.
That's a point.
But other than that, yeah, I just was playing through that. It was fun. I always love New Vegas, just dicking around in that game, just doing whatever. Just like I just started doing quests for the NCR, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna join you guys yet. I'm gonna see how these quests go. And then I go to one of the ranger stations, and I'm just like, sorry, you're all gonna die.
Sorry, but everybody here is going to die.
This is my anti-material rifle. The name should scare you enough to death, let alone being shot by the 50 milligram bullet or whatever, the 50 MG bullet.
Whatever it is, it's an anti-material rifle.
It's a 50 caliber rifle, guys, okay?
It literally like disintegrates your entire body when you get shot with it.
You fly across the map. Yeah, so that's what I'm playing. What are you playing this week?
So this week, actually, I'm finally playing something different.
I was going to say, if he says Fallout 4.
No, it's not Fallout 4.
Swear to God.
Not Fallout 4 this time. Someone called me out on that, actually.
They're like, you play Fallout 4 all the time. You have the diamond or platinum trophy or whatever. Just get over it.
Yeah, no, that's actually why I stopped playing, because I literally finally got the platinum trophy. And I'm like, okay, I have like 17 playthroughs. I have all the trophies. I cannot play this game physically anymore. Like There's done everything
nothing
you possibly
to
can.
do.
So I was still playing a little bit, like just kind of messing around. But finally, Hodder bought a new game. For the first time in a long time, I purchased a brand new game the day it came out.
Ooh.
And that is WWE 2K18.
Is it good as Day of Reckoning?
It's much better, actually, compared to Day of Reckoning. Oh. Which, fun fact, the fact that after we did that podcast, the pilot episode, I actually went out and played a whole bunch of those games.
Oh, really?
Because I busted, like my GameCube was over there, I literally busted it out and was playing a whole bunch of them.
So it's broken now? Because you busted it?
No, it's still broken.
Oh. So it works.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a PS4, not a GameCube.
Yeah, well, it's hidden in the boxes.
I don't think he has a GameCube.
I don't actually have a GameCube. I'm totally lying just to sound cool. Anyway, who said that? That was me. So I was playing some GameCube, but I've been playing Dave Reckoning. Dave Reckoning. Oh my God. I've been playing 2K18.
I tricked him.
You're messing up my brain, man.
Did you beat it already?
No, actually, because it's
really, really hard.
No, it's cool though. Like it is different from the other from 2K17. In the sense of the last like 3 or 4 WWE games, they've been kind of the similar, the same. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like all like the NBA games and all the EA
kind of,
sports games where people are like, I'm so excited for Madden NFL 2017. And then you're just like, why? Because it's 2017, not 2016. And you're just like,
and that's like the best reason they have.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, the graphics are so good.
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
Well, why I was excited about... Well, why I was excited about this is not only, I mean, yes, slightly updated graphics, but the main reason why I was so excited is every year they try and work on the mechanics to make things feel more and more realistic. And literally, it is the most realistic and fluent combat system that they've ever had.
Yeah. Probably had to get John Cena into like a leotard and everything and tell him to dance around for a bit. And
I can guarantee you John Cena's not doing motion capture for that game. I can assure you that John Cena's not doing that.
You can't assure me. You can implore.
I will just implore you.
Oh,
shout outs to the pilot episode, which I'm sure we're going to be referencing throughout this podcast. So again, if for some reason you haven't heard it, I implore you. That's right, using it twice in a podcast.
He only gets 3 of those. If he says it one more time, we shut the podcast down. It's just locked. It's a deadlock. Like if he says it one more time, our podcast is over. Like it shuts down for a day.
I literally, like I just created the Facebook and everything, and I will delete all of it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Or you can just keep going with 2 guys in a game. Hey, it's 2 guys in a game. This is Kaz.
And this is Hodder. I guess.
Is that your impression of me?
No. How do I impersonate somebody who sounds like almost like me?
Then why did you make me sound like that? Hey guys, it's
No,
TK.
because it'd be like, hey, I'm Kaz and I'm Hotter, and this is a show about two guys in a game, and then it'd just be like, that's the same guy. He's a phony.
Yeah, everybody, he's a great big phony. In the news today.
And just do a one-man show with 4 characters.
It'd be worldwide headlines. 2 guys in a game is actually hosted by one guy. What the hell?
Still use your face and your likeness. You show up to Comic-Con. Hey, guys. Wow, TJ, I really love you. Yeah, I used to love me, too. Just puts his head down. I'm just standing there. Yeah.
What's going on? So, yeah. And that's what this podcast is all about, folks. Literally to a T. But yeah, 2K18, check it out. Very fun. Heading into a tiny bit of gaming news, which is something else we are going to cover on this podcast, but there's not really a lot going on right now.
Nah.
So, before we do the podcast, I like to check out the web, quote unquote. I don't know why I said quote unquote, and see what's going on, see who's releasing new games or whatever. I think like Super Mario Odyssey just came out.
I do have some video game news.
Oh, do you?
It's pretty big that I just found out about last night, and you just reminded me.
Take it away, Casual Jones.
Yeah, no. Last of Us Part 2 just got announced, baby.
Oh, seriously?
October 30th, it got announced.
How did I miss that?
Dude, I just watched the trailer for it. I don't even know what's going on in the trailer. They don't even show Joel or Ellie. It's just literally like...
Really?
It's this craziness. Like the camera angle, it's all one camera, and the angle just keeps churning. Like, you ever seen Birdman? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Like,
Really?
that was the whole trailer, and it's like none of the characters are familiar. But it's totally got that Last of Us
That's
feel
cool,
to
though.
it. And like people are dying in the trailer, and you're like, who was that? What were they important? Now they're dead. And then and I'm just like, that's risky. But I'm also kind of feeling like maybe, just possibly, I'm just putting it out there, that this game might not even be about them. Because technically The Last of Us ended with just like a nice close story. Like, yeah, Joel was kind of a dick, but whatever.
See, but like I completely disagree that it ended like that, because I mean,
I don't think it was no. I mean, like if they bring him back, they have to bring him back. That'd be stupid not
Yeah,
to. But I don't know if they don't make the game about it, them, is it gonna like flop? Or is it gonna just be okay? Like, is it gonna be its standalone part 2? But it is part 2, so that's why I'm saying I'm speculating just from that trailer.
Speculations.
But I feel like we're gonna have new main characters for sure. And Ellie and Joel will be in it, and it'll still be part of the story because that is a big. Ellie is a huge part of the whole
for sure.
game. So.
Because when they first announced the game, there was another trailer where she was like playing guitar.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she's in it. I'm just saying that trailer was really weird for the debut trailer. And if it's I hate going to this because I don't know why. I always go to this. But if those are the graphics for the game, I don't even know how your eyes are going to make it through like the first chapter, because I feel like that was more of a cutscene thing, because I know they don't really go that above and beyond. It just costs way too much. But amazing, like for what it was. It's just like a little 4 or 5 minute video, but I was like, oh, this is a total hoax. And then it was like, nope, just released yesterday. And then it went through and it had the official Sony thing. And I was like, oh,
That's amazing. How did I miss that?
I don't know.
See, this is the
I
problem.
just found it yesterday.
Well, so but this is the problem. Like, we're going to talk gaming news and stuff on this podcast, but like I suck at it. So like I'm hoping to rely on you for this.
All right, I'll get you that for Christmas. Better gaming news.
Sweet. All I really want for Christmas this year. Anyway, but my little tidbit of gaming news actually involves 2K18. And that is the fact that for those of you who are playing it with me, by the way, hotter_AIC on PS4 if you want to play against me, they have quietly and kind of subtly, I didn't notice until I was creating a new character, because that's my deal. I create characters. I have tons of them already.
Elmo.
Elmo, of course, he is not just for cookie, it's for kill. Like that was the cookie monster.
That's what that's from. I was trying to remember why I said that, and I'm like, every time I hear that, I'm like, why did I?
It's in the intro,
and then I'm just like, yeah, I know. And then it gets to the part of the podcast, I'm like, oh, that's why I said it, because of freaking
because you were talking about how like you guys used to make Elmo and whatever.
Oh God.
Oh geez. But what ended up happening is I was going to like do like the entrance or whatever, and all of a sudden, friggin' Alistair Black, who is like one of my favorite guys right now, his music popped up, and I'm like, what the hell? So they have very quietly, and from what I could find, they didn't announce that they were going to do it. It's in the update feed, like, you know, when you have an update for a game, it lists what's going on, and it said like entrances and motion for these characters, but the characters aren't in the game yet.
Oh.
So I'm saying right now, probably within the next couple of months to a month, you're going to see some DLC announced.
Yeah.
And which for me is kind of, why would you input half of the DLC for free and then charge for the actual character, but then that makes sense because 2K?
I don't know. It's just business at this
Yeah,
point.
makes more sense.
Whenever anybody gets into me about DLC nowadays, I'm just like, really? You want to start talking about DLC? Like, even Nintendo's doing DLC now. Like, it's just a market, and they know they can make more money, and if you hate it, then don't buy the DLC. If you love the game, pay for the DLC. Support the game. It's,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
black and white, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be buying the DLC.
Yeah, like, Breath of the Wild's last DLC comes out in, like, 2 months, and it's going to be amazing. Like, it's going to be incredible, so and I've already bought it, so, you know.
Yeah. Got that pre-order.
Well, I might have a Switch by then, so we'll see.
A Switch. You have to
Probably not. I don't have enough money for a Switch.
Switch, they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not as expensive as like a PS4.
They don't
or anything.
pay me enough to serve donuts and coffee to people where I work. So
jeez.
they really should be paying me $20 an hour.
Yeah, okay.
Shut up, TJ.
So that's what's going on in our lives as far as what we're playing and a little bit of gaming news. So we're kind of going to get into the core of the podcast here today, which is just meeting us and who we are as people, aside from these two guys that you're going to get to know over the next however long.
7 to
45
5,000 years.
Yes.
Give or take a couple million.
Absolutely.
I wasn't ever good at math, but my math teacher always said it would never amount to anything. And where's he? I don't know, because I hit him with my car and drove away.
And where are you? Doing a podcast.
Doing a podcast.
Damn
not
right.
teaching math to nerds.
What?
Oh.
Who teaches math? Oh. So, why exactly are we doing this podcast, guys? Why are you doing this podcast?
Because I like to hear myself talk, TJ.
That's exactly why I'm doing it as well. Fist bump.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, I've always wanted to do voice work, and when I met Hodder, it was just perfect. Like, he was like, yeah, I do a podcast. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Man, he's cool. He does a podcast. And I was like, I wish I could do a podcast. And then one day I just joked around with him, like, I want to come on your podcast. He was like, yeah, totally. I'm like, really? And I just love it. Like, recording and doing all this stuff. That's why I do it. This is like my dream. Like, I want to do this for, like, not just podcasting. Like, definitely this is a great start, and I will
Voice
always
work.
do this, but just voice work. Like, I love doing that. I want to be a character voice actor and just like, I just love doing impressions and stuff. So yeah, that's
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, and just to kind of touch on that, the number one reason why I had you on my podcast, aside from that, because like when we met, like, it was like a few months after we kind of met, and I was like, oh, that guy's a good guy. He's cool. You know, we kind of joke around and stuff. But once we kind of really started to talk, I was like, holy crap, like, you're doing impressions of Cleveland Brown, and you're doing Peter and Stewie, and then you were doing Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I knew the show Rick and Morty, but I never watched it.
Yeah.
So I knew the voices, but I was like, man, like, this guy's nailing these voices, like, and the banter. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. So me being who I am, immediately saw a podcast out of that.
it's called Potential, folks.
Called Podcasting Potential.
We call it Pod Pot.
Pod?
Pod Pot. You
Pod
know,
pot?
like weed pot, but
Yes.
with potential. Like potential.
That's actually a good pod pot.
Pod Pot. He has Pod Pot.
Pod pot. Hashtag
Wait,
pod pot.
Does he have real pot or Pod Pot? I don't know. But let's find out.
Let's find
Because
out.
either one would be amazing.
But so I had you on, and you just, like, I could tell just from when you were on, you were just like, this is really fun and like cool. So
this is now my microphone and my chair.
Yeah.
And these are my headphones. Well, they are your
Those
headphones.
are actually your headphones.
These are my headphones. Yeah, we're not denying that. But the mic still belongs to TJ. No.
It
Pulls
is
the mic
now my
closer to
mic.
him.
You're using the magic mic.
I don't like the name of that, but that's okay.
Magic mic. I call it when Izzy was on the Auto Show, I called it the magic mic, and now that's what I'm calling it now from here on out. But yeah, so obviously wanting to do the voice work and that, it was a sure thing.
Oh, yeah.
I had John, we had so much fun, and I was just like, man, we pretty much instantly started talking after we did that first one. Like, man, like, we should like do, because we always talk gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, like, we should just do a gaming podcast. And then we did that Majora's Mask one.
Yeah.
And I've re-listened to it a few times, and a lot of people said to me, man, like, you guys, that was really entertaining. And when the producer, Mr. Brandon Bowden, producer of this show as well, says to me, hey man, like, that was really entertaining and good, I know that I have something. Not that he shits on everything else I do, right?
Yeah.
But he's my producer and he's my best friend, so he's blunt with me.
Yeah,
so when
yeah,
he
no,
says, "Man, that was really good," I know we've got something. So
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer to make this happen.
Well, I knew we had something before the podcast.
Well, of course.
Whatever.
Oh, of course.
It's always about the podcast.
Always about the
I'm just
literally, it actually always usually is about the podcast.
So it's all like, hey, TJ, how you doing? Podcast? Sure. I just asked you how you were doing, though, dude. No, podcast. Okay, so later today, podcast. Nods his head. Podcast.
That's literally like me, like to a T.
No, like I was so nervous today because I'm just like, oh, TJ, this is getting late. I don't know if he's going to want to do this. Hey, TJ, you want to do it? Yeah, let's do a podcast.
Still podcast.
So
I've been going since like 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and I don't even care. Podcast.
we're both
Literally all
really
I do.
tired, folks.
Yeah, but that's okay because I'm already having fun and we're rolling. Excuse me. If you guys couldn't tell, I'm still getting over this freaking cold bronchitis bullshit. For those of you who listen to my other podcast, The Hotter Show, you will know what I'm talking about. I wanted to wait to do this, but I was so excited that I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I sound sick and cough. I just want to get this first episode because I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about this project.
See, you hear what I'm talking about? Podcast.
Podcast. That's literally all I talk
Podcast,
about. That's
okay.
all I do. What do you do for fun, TJ? Podcast. But like, what else? Podcast. So
When you
like,
get married, where are you going to podcast? What?
so
How are you
like,
going to propose to your podcast?
I'm going to do it on the podcast.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, so that's literally how it started. And like our friendship kind of blossomed, starting really with just stupid jokes and impressions.
Yeah,
and,
like he would mop the floor, I'd make the donuts, and bam, friendship.
and we'd make
at first
jokes
sight.
and yeah. Friendship at first truck. Yes. But so that's why you're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. So as far as me personally, obviously, and this is not always how I'm going to answer questions by referring to my other podcast, but I kind of have to in this sense.
Yep.
Again, guys, podcast.
I'm counting on my hand, but I'm running out of fingers.
You can't see it when
I'm
he's
just
counting.
every time he says podcast, now I'm going to hold up my finger, and he's going to be like, "Shit, I said
I'm saying
podcast." again."
podcast. That's sick.
And now this episode's going to be called podcast because that's literally what we're saying all the time. Great.
Oh, geez. But as much as I love talking about gaming and tons of different topics on my other show, I really wanted to try and focus more on certain topics that tend to the listenership that I've gained with that podcast. 7.
Sorry, I was just
lost
waiting
it.
for him
You
to
just
say.
lost
I
it.
thought he was literally gonna like he was holding it in to not.
I
I thought he was
was.
like going through his words to not say podcast.
I was, and I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. He's losing it. He's literally red. He can't even contain himself anymore. This is so good.
Okay.
But
Back on track.
I didn't talk gaming a whole bunch, and gaming is a big part of my life. And so when this came up, and I kind of said to you, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think about doing it like full on, just as a separate entity? That's right, entity,
Yep.
not podcast.
Yeah, and then I was just like, no. And he's like, what? What if I give you $1 million? I was like, nope. And he's like, what if I gave you eternal friendship? And I said,
Oh my god,
that doesn't even exist, but I want it. So I took the job.
yay! And here we are, and that's why I'm doing this podcast, because it's just going to be fun as hell for me.
Yep.
And that's pretty much that. What type of games do we like?
I don't know. What type of games do we like?
I mean, I know me personally, like, I am an RPG
Yeah.
lover and adventure.
Same.
kind of guy.
RPG, single player, no multiplayer. Screw multiplayer. No, I'm just joking. Multiplayer's good sometimes, but no.
Online multiplayer, absolutely am not a fan of.
Unless it's Call of Duty and you got to school a couple 13-year-old boys who think they're hot shit.
Got to school some noobs.
Shout out to you, little bro. I take you down.
Downtown.
But yeah, no, definitely the RPG open world is always fun. Anything that's just got like puzzles in it that just makes you go, how do I get up there with just a Deku stick?
Like games that make you think.
Yeah, thinking game. Well, yeah, because like games that don't make you think are boring and they're easy. And it's just like, why do I play this? Like Call of Duty is not a thinking game. Sorry, if you think it takes skill to play Call of Duty, no, it takes repetition, and then your reflexes develop in that game, and then you just get so good. You set your sensitivity up to 10. That's not skill. That's just a control. I'm talking like play Breath of the Wild, play Fallout, play Skyrim, whatever, or like Final Fantasy. Those are like tactical games. You got to time your moves. You got to figure out what your next move is, or you're gonna die. That kind of stuff. And yeah, those are the kind of games I like. Like RPG is it's just the best. It's the best genre, it really is.
Yeah, it's games that you can get lost in.
Yeah,
games that the story literally develops you and you're like, man, I want to just play this game. I want to know about these characters. I care about these characters.
And it's even better when they come out with the game and they make you the main character. Like those are the best ones. And it's because everybody wants to be their own main character in their game. And they have perfected. Bethesda knows how to do it. Dare I say it, Bungie figured it out. And I saw when they figured it out and they were geniuses. And like nobody saw it except for a couple people. And
which was that?
ODST.
Yeah. Okay,
ODST is when they just like that to me. Like it took me a while because ODST when that came out, I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. He's called the Rookie. You are the Rookie.
You're the Rookie.
He's not the Master Chief. The Master Chief actually is a person, so it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything, for the most part. But the Rookie's just like, yo, what up? I'm just the Rookie. Bam, here. And then they kind of touched base and then they went, hey, this works. And then they went a step further and they go, here's Halo Reach. And Halo Reach was for me, I was like, that is my favorite Halo game because you are the Spartan.
Yes.
You get to create your own Spartan.
That was really cool.
I love my Spartan. I still have him. He's the same guy from the moment I created him in that game. I remember I played through the game twice in one day. Like I played through it on normal and then heroic and creating my character and getting the helmet I wanted for him and everything. Oh, and now I don't change my armor at all. My friends are like, you have so many credits. You could buy Master Chief's helmet. I'm like, nah, I like my helmet.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too is like when you have games like what you were just saying with RPG and different types of games where you can create yourself. I mean, like that's why I love wrestling games so much.
There you go.
But games like, you ever heard of a game called, oh my God, I'm going to forget. It's an RPG game. Oh my God, I'm not even able to think of it right now.
It's not Bomberman.
Oh, there's pawn people. Oh my God, I'm gonna Dark Arisen. Oh God, Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma.
Heard of it?
Dark Arisen. Boom. Okay, I usually can't think of them on the spot like that, so I'm really proud of myself right now. Yay, TJ! I used my brain and it worked. But this game, Dragon's Dogma. The Dark Arisen version, anyway. I can't speak for the original one.
Okay.
Literally, you start off as you literally completely create. There's tons of different options. You create your own character, and then it goes even a couple steps further to where you have these little people you can get, and they're called pawns. They're basically like these beings that you can summon.
Oh yeah,
and you can like custom. You have your one you can customize. So like basically, you can create whoever you want, and then another character as well for your party and have all these unique party members and just games like that. Like I love obviously like what you're saying, Fallout and Halo Reach for that reason as well. Being able to create yourself and put yourself in this world, and when you have a good story that you care about, but then at the same time when you have a story that you can create yourself as well,
puts the player in the shoes. Literally. Like it's not just like some BS where it's just like you're Nathan Drake. Well, not that Uncharted's bad, but just
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like you're Nathan Drake. Play Nathan Drake. Okay, that's great. And that game's fun. That game's terrifically done. Those games are great, but it's not the same as hey, you get to we're gonna call you by your name this whole game. We want you to feel like you're the character. And Nintendo has had it great from the beginning.
Nintendo's always done that well.
You didn't like the only time the first game that they've actually come out with for Zelda where you don't get to name your character is Breath of the Wild because they're so intricate to the story that his name's Link, and you're like, okay.
Which a game like that you don't necessarily mind though.
No,
there's still a little bit of
Zelda
customization.
just has its own thing. They could do whatever they want. And it's the same with Pokemon. Pokemon's amazing because it does what Dragon's Dogma does. It goes that step further where you're saying you get to summon all your little pawns. Well, Pokemon's literally
the same deal.
Here's your RPG. Okay, it's kind of Final Fantasy-esque. Oh, wait, no, except for the fact that we have over 700 different options for you here, and you can only have 6, so you go ahead and make your own team and just enjoy yourself. And that's always what blows me away with Pokemon. It's just like, if somebody loves RPGs, Pokemon's where it's at, yo.
Literally, and that's what's funny is like as much as I love RPGs and I do love adventure games like Uncharted, games like that. And that was my only grievance with Fallout 4 at times, is the fact that the story's kind of already created.
Yeah, that was my that's my issue too. Like,
Whereas,
I was
like,
kind of like Sean. I'm like, oh, I don't even give a shit about Sean.
I just want to go over here and do this, but I gotta
I
go
want
with
to go
Sean.
talk to the super mutant. He's really cool.
But that's the thing too, like with a game like Skyrim, where once I realized that the
You
dragons,
were the Dova King.
yeah, well that too, but like as amazing as that story is, and yeah, you can create your own character and all that, and then you fill those shoes in the story, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Once I realized that if I don't go to Whiterun and talk to the Jarl, the dragons don't even show up. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. Bye, Dragon Quest. Bye.
Well, it's not Dragon Quest. It's Skyrim.
Yes, but I listen, Kaz.
Enough of your silliness. Enough.
Like that, you don't need to cut me off.
Yeah, I do.
This is serious. You don't need to do that.
Sorry about
dramatic
that, again, folks.
Sorry about that, guys.
Podcast.
So that's like what, 12 podcast? That's 13 podcast, 14
Maybe.
podcast, 15.
We have more podcasts in our podcast than we do on our actual podcast.
Boom. I'm gonna make a t-shirt. It says podcast. And I'm just gonna be like, so like, what's the deal with that? I'm like, podcast.
All right, so what were you so you turned off Skyrim once you found out about the Whiterun quest and never played it ever again?
No. What I'm saying is once I realized that, because my thing with Skyrim is at my first like 2 or 3 playthroughs,
Yeah.
I love the whole dragon aspect.
Oh yeah.
When I'm playing through as a thief, I don't like the dragons.
So don't summon the dragons then.
Well, that's what I mean. Once I realized that if I didn't go to Whiterun and talk to Jarl, the dragons didn't spawn, I went the complete other way.
That's awesome.
I didn't show up to friggin' the
You can
Jarl.
still
so I was
spawn
like,
dragons though.
Can you? See, I
Yeah, there's dragon burial sites you can just walk up to.
yeah. Stuff like that, yeah. But like the random spawns where you're trying to loot through a town, and all of a sudden the dragon shows up. It's like, really?
Didn't I just kill you 5 minutes ago? Where did you even come from?
He's just like, oh, I don't care.
I'm gonna land on this building like a freaking spaz.
Dragons are dicks.
Dragons are idiots, man. When they crash in the ground, you're like, how did you even manage that? You're a dragon, not a freaking plane. God damn it.
Damn it.
Stupid dragons.
Stupid dragons. But yeah, like those are the kind of games that we like. I mean, and that's another reason why we are doing this podcast, because we have such similar tastes in games.
Yep. And also our massive drug addiction, but we didn't want to talk about that on this episode.
Okay. Ananyway, so
Addicted to Jet, what up?
Jet, what up? I think you're gonna go somewhere else with that. You went with that. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, getting into this and kind of some more nitty gritty, harder stuff.
Sure.
What is, I know for me, is a very hard question to answer. What is, if you had to pick one, what is your favorite video game? It's a hard decision to make.
I don't think I have a favorite video game.
Okay, so explain.
Well, I mean, I don't have like one specific game where I'm just like, at the end of the day, this game is my jam. I just am like,
Like if you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
See,
Still not sure?
I would just not play any video games. I would just sit and cry in silence, knowing that I could not choose between my beloveds.
Okay, I guess so give me like your top 5 then. Can you do that?
Yeah, it's just going to sound ridiculous to everybody.
And it doesn't go in any order. Just
Okay, just
5
top
games.
fives?
Yeah,
Okay.
top 5 games. It's gonna be good.
Okay,
See
so
by the look on your
I'd
face.
probably say Pokemon Silver,
Okay.
Pokemon Sapphire,
Oh God.
then Pokemon Platinum,
Oh God.
Pokemon White, and then maybe I'd say, since Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon just coming out, I'd pick that as my last one.
So literally your 5 games
Dude,
are all Pokemon
I have
games.
all the Pokemon games.
I know, but
I have
like,
all the Pokemon games. If I could take that with me into a dimension that's just me and the Pokemon games, I'd be fine for life.
I know, but like I'm just saying, like literally the only games that are on your top 5 list are Pokemon games.
Well, maybe I guess I would throw Majora's Mask and sub it out for
so
something
6.
else.
6 then.
But I mean, I don't need to bring like 5 Pokemon games only. But yeah, like if I were gonna get lost in like space for like the rest of my life and I could only bring 5 games, just bring
They're all
Pokemon.
Pokemon games.
You only need one console, and
Yeah,
you got
fair
5
enough.
different adventures.
Okay, yeah. That's some smart thinking, because mine would be all different ones, and I'm not even gonna try and do a top 5.
Yeah, well, it's
But
hard.
It
Like,
is hard.
You can't just. I don't know. That's why we have more video games than just 5 video games.
This is true. At least hopefully, unless you're like like me growing up, where I literally had like 5 games I played all the time.
Unless you're sitting here listening to this podcast, you're like, someday I'll have games and maybe I'll play them. And then, you're probably singing that song from Annie. Just looking out a window, crying a bit.
Just crying a little bit with the fact that you can't play video games because you don't have any.
So what, if you had to pick one game, do you know what game you're going to pick?
Yeah, 100%.
What is it?
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, fine.
So actually, there's 2.
You said one.
My number 1, if literally I can only play one game for the rest of my life, it has to be Ocarina of Time.
Ew.
Let me explain.
Okay. I didn't mean ew and ew, oh, gross, Ocarina of Time, but like seriously, for like the rest of your life,
Yeah.
That gets so boring so fast.
I mean, and that's the thing is, I agree, it would.
I can beat Ocarina of Time in 12 hours. That's not going to last you the rest of your life.
Yeah, okay, let me explain though.
Taught me how to read, guys. It taught me how to read. And if I forget how to read, I'm going to need that because I'm TJ and that's why I'm bringing Ocarina of Time with me. And I'm supposed to explain this, but I can't. That's literally all I can think. When you say, let me explain, I'm just like, it taught me how to read.
Okay. So it did actually teach me how to read.
Yeah, we
and
know.
I love the game. Okay. He's talking in reference to like episode 7 of the Harder Show. Okay. Okay. He's making fun of me and I don't appreciate it. I will cut your mic. I will do it.
Do it.
Done.
Okay.
We're never going to hear from Kaz again. Screw Kaz. While I explain this, his mic's off because he's a jerk. So literally, I'm going to turn your mic back on. So basically, for me, Ocarina of Time, even though, yes, your playthroughs generally are all going to be the same.
Not generally, they're identically going to be the same.
Yes, but like there's little things you can do.
Like what? The big Oran sword? Because I do that every playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just play through with just that. Or you can do what I did one time and get the cheap one and have it break and then just use that as your weapon for the whole game.
The big Goron knife.
Yeah.
Or you can do what I did, and one time I turned it on, and it was the 3DS version, and for some reason, I don't know how the frick it happened, but my young Link had the Master Sword.
What?
And I have a video of it somewhere where he's literally walking
to send
around.
that to me.
I don't know where it is. I gotta find it. I hope I still have it, because he's literally walking around, and every time I pull up my sword, young Link is like, he's stuck in the animation pose where he's pulling the sword out, but he's walking around with it, and if I swing the sword,
So
he's like,
So it's just like a glitch.
but it was awesome.
I got
No,
you.
but it was like before I even had the Kokiri sword.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. It was weird. So I looked it up, and it was just like, yeah, this glitch happens if you finish a playthrough on one of your other files, and then you come right here. Young Link sometimes gets the Master Sword. So, but I couldn't leave the village with the Master Sword until I got the Kokiri sword. And once you get the Kokiri sword, you lose the Master Sword. So it was really sad. I was like, I just want to play through the game like this, like just like literally, he's just
hilarious.
holding the sword, like in
He's just holding it like he's pulling it out of the stone.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's awesome.
But the real what I'm saying, Ocarina of Time, it is my favorite game of all time. But I think I've kind of misspoke a little bit ago there, as I tend to do time to time, even though I'm an audio guy. Is what it is. Don't read into that too much. It is my favorite game of all time. But if I can only choose one game to be like stuck on a desert island with, play the rest of my life,
But yeah,
it's not going to be Ocarina of Time. No. I kind of misspoke there. I'm taking it back a little bit.
Okay.
It is my favorite game of all time.
Well, that's
and
different. You can have that as your
Yeah.
favorite game for sure.
Like it's a game that if someone was to say to me, "Hey, I've never played a video game before, what one should I play?" Hands down, 100%, it's going to be Ocarina of Time and time again. But if there is a game that I can only play once again for the rest of my life, and that's it, it's probably going to be Age of Empires. You ever play Age of Empires?
No.
Oh, dude. And that's the thing, too, is I kind of forgot to mention is like strategy games. Like top-down strategy games, as much as I'm not a fan of like StarCraft and stuff like that.
Okay.
I love Age of Empires, which is all like, medieval stuff.
Okay.
And there's different, people, like you've got like the British and you've got the Celtics and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You build up your army and you build up your village and you attack stuff. And it's a game where even though there's a limited amount of campaigns you can play and there's a limited amount of like different people you can be, every single game when you start up a random map and you play a game, every single one's going to be different.
Okay.
So you're never playing the same game twice, basically.
That's good.
So it's something that I know that I would never get bored of it because I never got bored of Age of Empires and I played it for like 5 or 6 years straight and never got bored of it.
What if you just chose RuneScape as the only game?
See now, I'm gonna say something here right now on Two Guys in a Game, and it's gonna be a very controversial statement. What I'm about to say.
Don't say anything you're gonna regret.
I
Don't say podcast.
never podcast played RuneScape.
Oh, that's not controversial.
So yeah, I felt like people were gonna roast me.
No.
I never played it because when it came out,
It was
money. It was what, 2001, 2?
I don't know.
I don't know when it came out. I'm way off, but I didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
And by the time I knew what RuneScape was and could play it, I didn't care. Because I was like, I'd rather play Ocarina of Time, or I'd rather play Majora's Mask, or like, I didn't care. And, people talk about RuneScape sometimes, and I'm like, I get it.
I got really into it last year. That was like my jam for like a year and a half while I was in school. Because
Yeah.
I was just so bored when I got home from school, and I was just too tired to boot up any game. I just had RuneScape sitting there, and I was like, I'm going to get back into this. I'm going to make my character that I started in grade 5, by the way.
So that's cool, though.
Yeah, I've had this character since I was like 10. So this is like a 13-year-old character. It's incredible. And like, I literally just ripped through everything. Like I got a couple 99s. That's a big deal. If you don't know what that means, 99s. So like all your skills can go up to 99. And then once you get there, you're like, you get a special cape and you get to wear it. And everybody who sees you is like, oh, dude.
What a badass.
They got that. So like I worked on a couple of those, and I've got like, how many do I have now? I got like all the big ones out of the way too. Like the ones that cost all of your money in your
Really?
bank account. I was like, I worked really hard on those ones, and people are like, you're insane. Don't go for that one as your first cape. And I'm just like, it's too late. I've already dedicated myself.
I've already done it.
I'm already a battle warrior. And I'm actually a battle mage now. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm almost maxed out on all my attack and defense and stuff, but it's fun to have like walking around with this cape on, just be like, yo, what's up? And someone comes up to you and goes, whoa, are you a god? And you're like, no, no, I'm not. That guy over there has the cape with me too. And that guy, and actually everyone here in the circle, because it's the cape wearing guild, is, no, I'm just joking. That's another thing. That's another thing. But like, you just feel good, right? And
Well, yeah, it's like when I achieved that platinum trophy in Fall 4.
yeah,
I
exactly.
felt really good. Because it took me a while to get because of one stupid trophy.
And then everyone else around you's like, and nobody cares. Move on with your life. And you're like, ugh.
And I'm not usually a trophy guy, but for some, like when I got the platinum trophy for Skyrim,
Yeah.
like a bunch of my friends were like, seriously?
You're an
Like,
achievement
How did you
whore?
do
That's
that? And I'm like-
disgusting.
And I agree for the most part, but for some reason, when I'm so close, I'm like, why don't I just go all the way,
There's only been a couple games where I've gotten like all of the achievements on them. And I don't even, I wish I could go back on my profile and check. I know I have one game where I'm like, oh, yeah.
He just got so excited.
Oh, baby.
He was just like staring
Dead
blankly.
Rising 1.
Yeah.
Baby. I remember because when that game came out, my friend's like, here, just try it. And I'm like, I don't like zombie games. I don't like scary games. Like, it was like, this was just like, when was this? 2000. When I was like 14, I'm like, I don't like scary games. I don't like them. And he's like, just try this game. You're going to love it. I know you will. Gives it to me, puts it in the console. I have never played a game so much in my life that I thought this game is replayable to the point where I will break my Xbox. I played that game for 2 weeks straight, and then he comes over and he goes, can I have my game back? I'm like, no.
No, you
He's
can't.
like,
Sorry, bro.
He's like, I need it back. And I'm like, no. So he takes it back, and then I go online. I'm like, Mom, we need to find this game. And they're not selling it anywhere because it's like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. Finally, we go on Kijiji, and this guy's selling it for $10. I'm like, oh. Sorry. I inhaled a fly, and I coughed. And so I'm like, no way. I'm like, this guy's selling for $10. So we get there. This guy shows up on a scooter. He's like, sup? And I'm like, this guy is so cool. I hope I aspire to be like him one day. And then he hands me the game, and he goes, $10. I'm like, here you go. And he goes, all right, you want to check it over, make sure it's not scratched or anything? I'm like, for $10, I don't really care as long as it reads. And he goes, it's fine. I just don't play it anymore. I just need to make some extra cash. So I take the game from him, and it's the original. Like, they did not sell this one for very long after the Xbox 360 was released. Like, it's the original copy cover.
Oh, really? That's cool.
It has, like, because the newer copies have this disclaimer on it saying, this is not Dawn of the Dead, blah, blah, blah. This is not affiliated with Dawn of the Dead, because they got sued big time, right?
Yeah.
Like, Capcom got hit hard. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, no freaking way. This is the original one. And I was like, yeah. And I showed my friend, I'm like, sucks to suck, sucker. I got Dead Rising and announced you. And he was just like, that's cool, but it's still the same game. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm just rambling on about Dead Rising.
It's cool though.
I don't want to take up all of our time.
That's fun though. Like, and that's why I know that this is going to be a great podcast because we
actually, you know what? I would probably change one of my top 5 games to bring with me to an island.
Dead Rising
would be one of the Dead Rising. Well, Dead Rising 1 or Dead Rising 2 or Dead Rising 2 off the record. One of those 3 I'll bring because I only need one to really enjoy myself with if I want to like hack and slash. And I'll probably just bring a Fallout too. I'll knock off 2 of those Pokemon games.
Okay, so there you go. Changing your answer, but that's okay. That's what we do here on Two Guys in the Game.
You said that like it was a bad thing.
Oh, not at all.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's fine. I
It's fine.
understand.
I get it.
Cool.
It's, whatever.
I know this is going to be a very easy question for us both to answer because I think we both have the same answer.
Yeah, I think
this would be
so.
good.
Yeah. I know
Favorite
what question
console?
this is. Okama Game Sphere. Just kidding. That's from something. N64, obviously.
N64, yeah, for sure.
We were trying to time it for the same thing, but
Yeah,
I was
and he
just like,
does
I
something
ruined
different.
it
That's okay.
because I'm a ruiner.
Why N64?
N6
The
T4.
Yeah,
There's a
mine
YouTube
recently
video, and it's called the N64 song. It's like old. Just watch it, and that's why N64. Have you never seen that?
Well, yeah, back in the day.
You've seen the guy who's just like N64, N64, N63, then N1 more, and Wave Racer 64. I'll wave race right to the 60 shore, N60 shore, and he just starts busting rhymes, and it's just wonderful.
Well, the thing is, like, some of the, like, as far as I'm concerned, some of the best games ever made were for that system. It was the first game system I ever got, and it was also the first game system I ever played.
Yeah. Donkey Kong 64 up in
Hell
here.
yeah.
I already talked about it in one of our shows. One of the shows I've been on, I talked about the Jungle Donkey Kong edition. And that's my N64. I still have it. It's in my closet right now. I put it up on a shelf, like a pedestal. So it's just,
When you open it, it goes, oh!
and I'm just like, shh, no, it's not ready yet. I don't have kids yet. When I have kids. Because I have all my N64 games on my Wii U, and my controller's
Yeah.
all busted, and I don't want to buy a new
See,
controller.
I literally, like, I was just playing mine the other day. Oh, Battle 64, what up? I was just playing the other day.
Woo
how
fist pump.
What?
I said woo fist pump.
Woo, fist bump? I thought you said fist bump. I was like,
No,
fist
it's
bump?
from regular show. You just need to watch it.
Oh, see, I need to watch regular show.
So yeah, N64. No, honestly, it's just that's a big console. Like that console gave us what we have today. Like the 3D platforming. Hi, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of
What
Time,
up?
Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie. Enough said. Like if you did not get the N64 when you were a kid, that was either because they didn't sell them anymore because you're only 10 and listening to this, which is totally fine. Just go.
It's cool.
It's cool. We're
man.
not gonna
It's
get mad at you. But if you didn't have it and you're like something in your 20s, you missed out. Don't tell me, but Xbox was so much better. No. Xbox only was as good as it was because of N64.
I agree with that statement.
So I actually say any gaming today is only as good as something Nintendo did in the past. If Nintendo didn't do something in the past, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have that. And actually, that's where a lot of inspiration for most of this crap comes from. Like, Halo didn't just get pulled out of someone's butt. It literally was like a planned idea because those guys probably played Super Mario or Metroid. Cough. Samus and Master Chief look a lot like each other.
They kind of look a lot alike.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's why the N64. There's no other console. There's just nothing. Like, I could say the 3DS is amazing. I could say that the Wii U did a great job, even though lots of people are gonna shit on that. They're like, "Oh no, the Wii U sucked. It didn't come up."
Wii
with
U
enough
wasn't even
content."
very good. Oh,
Except
Wii
I
wasn't
can
good.
play all my N64 games on the Wii U, so that's literally like amazing to me because I love playing my N64 games. And the 3DS, I love it because now I can pretty much play every Pokemon generation.
And why wouldn't you? If you have that ability, why would you want your 64 still? I totally get it.
No, that's not what I'm not saying you don't want your N64. I'm just, TJ.
Why would you not be
TJ,
using it?
I'm just saying, maybe. No, I'm trying to do the Brian thing where he's just like, maybe. I'm just trying to say, No, but it is a great console, and that's the number one console, I think, between the both of us.
Of all time,
We can agree on that one for sure. Like, no other console really comes close.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most memorable moment you've ever had gaming? If you had to just, as broad of a question as that is, when you
Memorable.
think of just the most
Do
memorable
we just have to have one moment, or can we have like
You can have a
two,
couple.
and
You
I
can
just
have a
won't
couple.
go on for like 20 minutes?
Yeah, you can have a couple.
Okay. So one of my first memories of video gaming was fighting Bowser in N64, Super Mario 64, because that to me was the hardest thing to do. Just the first Bowser. Nowadays, I'm just like, first Bowser, whatever. But it was the hardest thing for me. And getting to him. But then I mastered it, and I was like flipping around. I was
Throwing him around,
jumping.
yeah.
I was jumping through the whole level just to get to him. And then once I finally got to him, I just remember the first time my dad was watching me, and there was so much pressure. Like I was only like 5 or 6, and I can still feel this like the goosebumps, and the music just kicked in and went boom, boom, and I was just like, no freaking way, I made it. My dad was just like,
You did? Oh my God.
And my dad's just like, oh, he's a Bowser. And I'm just like, my dad had already basically beaten the whole game. And I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here. I'm just like, this is crazy. But then, yeah. And then another one. Oh, I lost. I forgot to say that. I died. And I really got disappointed. And it was a really bad moment. But it was memorable.
It's a memorable moment. It doesn't mean it was a good moment.
You know, it's called the memories of disappointing your father. But no, just.
Okay.
And then there was Donkey Kong. And my most memorable moment in that was I hated boss fights in that game when I was a kid. I love the boss fights now. Sometimes I'll just have a couple of beers and I'll literally just go fight bosses on Donkey Kong. Just for
the fun of it.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
have
like,
fun bosses.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, oh, I can take you on. I know your strategy now. But what happened was I think that they tricked too many kids. It was unfair. Way to go, Rare. I hate you. Just kidding. Tectonic, please don't go away. Keep making games. So the first two bosses in Donkey Kong are the Armadillo. Great names.
Yes.
The Armadillo, he's just like this little tank, and he's like, rah, and shoots fireballs at you. And he's, and then after you beat him, he runs away. And then you've got Didogadon is his name, but I called him the Dragonfly because that made more sense because he's literally a dragonfly. But he's a dragon and he's a fly. But yeah, but his name's
literally a dragonfly.
Didogadon or whatever. And so after you fight him, you're kind of just like, oh, like that was easy. And then you go to boss number 3 and you're like, oh, I wonder what's in store. And then it picks Tiny and it's like, the doors open and it goes, whoa, huh, huh, and you're just like, all right, let's see what's. And then all of a sudden they come out with the quack in the box. Scariest.
Which is, when you were a kid.
That gave me nightmares.
Yeah.
I had nightmares for 3 days after I played that boss because I couldn't beat him. And then finally I got to one point where I almost beat him. And then he beat me and I was like, no. So I just didn't fight him. Like, screw you. I'm not fighting you. So then I go to the 4th boss. I'm like, hopefully this boss is a little bit better. Nope, no better. Hi, welcome to the electric puffer fish. He's just going to and you don't even get to fight him. You just have to zoom around in circles in your little boat, your coconut boat. That's what it is. As Lanky. And Lanky's just passed out in the boat and you're just controlling the boat, trying to hit all these things. And if you don't hit them in time, you lose. And that was stressful. And then finally I'm just like, okay, enough of these boss fights. I can't take it anymore. And then they're like Revenge of the Dogadon with Chunky. And it's not easy at all. You're going to die almost always. Because what happened with that boss fight? Sorry, I'm going off way off.
No, this is good.
This boss fight, I got to it and I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to beat this guy. You get your own, sucker. Throw the barrels at him. Yeah, barrel 1, barrel 2, barrel 3. And all of a sudden he goes, you know what? Nah, I'm not dead yet. And I'm just like, well, what's going on now? And then he starts slamming on the ground. And then the pillar you're standing on starts to sink into the lava. And you're on a time limit, and the music speeds up the closer you get, so it just adds more intensity. It's
stressful.
It's like dun, 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 and it just keeps going. I'm like, oh crap! And then you have to hit him with the barrel, and then you got to transform into Mega Chunky and just beat. But when I was a kid,
Chunky.
my dad, I always watched my dad fight him, and he did it wrong. I didn't realize he was doing it wrong until I grew up, and me and my uncle played through it again. And so he would always do the super punch, Chunky super punch.
Yeah.
Instead, you don't have to do that. You can literally just keep punching him, and if you do it enough,
he'll die eventually.
You'll die. But my dad did it this way, and I watched him do it, and it worked for him. And he beat him with the super punch. I was like, so I always did that, but I never made it. And then, so that boss fight sucked. And then finally, once I got through all those bosses, eventually I would get through, or I'd be like, Dad, can you just help me?
Can you beat this boss for me?
Just beat this boss. He's really hard. And then what's the other boss after that? Oh yeah, so there's the Revenge of the Armadillo. Where he comes back and DK's got to fight him again, which I thought was brilliant. I loved it. It wasn't a hard boss fight, but it was just funny to me.
It was cool. It
was a funny little boss fight. Same with the Revenge of the Dogadon. That was hilarious. That Chunky has to fight him now, and Chunky's just like, oh, and he's just a big coward. But and then the one boss that's just completely ridiculous to this day. Well, actually, all the boss fights are ridiculous, but they're great. Cardboard K. Rool.
Yes.
Cardboard cutout K. Rool.
Dude, that was a good boss fight.
Was hilarious.
Yeah.
I peed my pants pretty much. Just the first time I ever saw him, and he's just like, oh yeah, and he just pops up, and he's just like, oh, and he's just making all these crazy sounds every time you hit him, and his arms are falling off, and it's just some Kremlings just goofing around because they literally don't have any idea what to do for boss fights. That was literally Rare going, we're out of boss fights. Just fight this freaking Cardboard K. Rool and get it over with. And it is the funniest boss fight you will ever.
It really is.
Well,
it's a
next
good boss
to the
fight,
actual
man.
final boss fight where
because that's a good boss fight. That's one of the best
But,
final boss fights.
Yeah,
in
those
gaming.
are some of my best memories. They're definitely DK and just one more I'll throw out really quick before I ramble on for 50 minutes. Was just when I was a kid, the first video game I officially went out and bought for myself without my dad buying it was Paper Mario. And
Amazing.
I remember my mom was like, "Why do you want this game?" And I was only like 7 or 8. I was only in grade 2, yeah, so I was only like 7. She's like, "Why do you want this game?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm just like, "I really want it," and I'm so glad I got that game because my parents could not believe. My dad was just like, "Oh, this game looks boring," and I was like, "No," and my mom even told me like a couple weeks ago. She's like, "Yeah, I remember you played that game and you loved it. You went through that whole game and then you got to the end and then you couldn't beat Bowser and you hated it because your best friend would come over and he'd be like, 'I can beat Bowser on my cartridge,' and I'd be like, 'Oh, I hate you so much.
I hate you so much.'"
But I didn't understand RPGs as much as I do now.
Yeah.
But still, the point that I made it to Bowser, my friend was amazed. He's like, "How did you make it this far to Bowser?" He's like, "Your health is this low. Your flower points are this low. Your badge." Well, he's like, "I don't even understand."
I'm really good.
I'm just like, I just know how to play the game, and that was it, right? Like,
I don't know how to play the game when you suck.
so yeah, that was a moment for me where I just remember that, like going to the store, picking up the box because they came in cardboard boxes. It was
Back
so
in the
cool.
day.
And I remember picking up the cover for that and just being like, "I wanted this game forever." And I got it, and it was definitely one of my favorite. I still have the cartridge for Paper Mario.
That's amazing.
I am so happy about that. You don't have no idea how expensive it is and rare to find it.
I know. Like I've been trying to find a copy of Paper Mario forever.
Yeah, you'll
And
end
you won't,
up like spending $100 if you find it at like a used shop, like a gaming shop, and
Which
if
I always find.
you can find it online. You'll probably end up spending. Well, yeah, I don't.
About $100. It's about $100.
Something
Last
like
time
that.
I checked, it was about $100.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've rambled on about my moments. You go ahead about your moments there.
Mine are pretty quick. For me, number one, the first time I ever actually like really sat and played a video game, I was at an old friend of mine's house, actually in Cape Breton, where my grandparents live, and we would kind of always like hang out and stuff when I'd go up there. And he's like, "Hey man, like you want to come over and game?" And I was like, "What is a game? Like what game? Like what do you? I don't." And he's like, "Oh, Super Smash Bros." I'm like, "What is that?" Like I didn't know what a video game was, and I go over and he hands me this controller, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And I knew what Pokemon was. So I played as Pikachu.
Okay.
And we spent probably 6-7 hours just playing Super Smash Bros. With me and a couple of his buddies and his brother or whatever. And
First time
just
playing
amazing.
Smash Bros.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
Oh, it was just amazing. And I'm leaping around and I was kicking their asses even though I had no idea what I was doing. And they were like, "Oh, he's cheating." Oh, you
It's
know.
just button mashing.
They're rage quitting.
Amateur.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, "Oh, you're an amateur. Oh, you're just button mashing." And
How do
my
you
other
play this
one-
game? I don't know, man. Just mash the buttons.
Just hit some
That's
buttons,
Rigby
bro.
from he's one of the characters in regular show. Gets the controller. How do I control this thing? I don't know, man. Just mash the buttons. He starts mashing the buttons. It works just because that's all Rigby does. He just mashes the buttons to play the game.
And you figure it out pretty quick. Any fighting game ever, just mash buttons. Straight up.
Pretty much. It's called beginner's luck.
Yeah,
Button
man.
mashing. So.
Yeah, man. And then my other one, actually, when I was a kid, I got really sick with a couple different things. Mostly a lot of strep throat, so I had my tonsils out. And when I had my N64 at this point, and I really wanted Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Like I really wanted it, and I kept renting it because you could rent games back in the day, like physical
That was
copies.
so awful.
Go
Why
to
did you
Flix
bring
Video.
up terrible moments like that?
No,
I'm just gonna
man.
rent this game for a week, and then no, why do I have to give it back?
Man, I used to love renting games like that. I miss that so much. We can't like.
You could probably still make a profitable business out of it.
Well, that's the thing too is you probably could. But
I mean,
like,
because there's no video game rentals
yeah,
anymore.
that's like a whole other conversation for another time because
I know,
that's
yeah,
interesting. But
Hotter and Kaz's video game rentals. Cha-ching.
what up?
Trademark.
$50 a video game.
Trademark
to rent.
copyright.
Trademarked. But yeah, so I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then when I got sick, I was in the hospital. Obviously, I had my tonsils out, and the day or so after I was like okay, I had to stay in the hospital for a couple of days because of some complications or whatever. And my dad comes and visits me, and he has this bag, and he's just like, like when you're feeling better, hands it to me, and they got me Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Ooh. And I just remember like literally almost crying. I'm pretty sure actually I cried. I mean, I was a kid, but I was, and they were just like, "It's just a game." But I was like, "You don't understand." And that was the summer I like literally like learned how to read, like straight up. So, yeah, definitely some great moments. A quick one here, Kaz. What is a game that you've sunk the most hours into? Out of every game you've ever played, just overall.
Every game. Pokemon White version.
Yeah.
That That was my first Pokemon game where I was like, I'm going hardcore at this. Like, all my friends were getting it, and I'm just like, nah, this is my jam. Like, today, I'm going to be the Pokemon master. And I maxed the clock out on it.
Really?
Yeah, it has a 1,000-hour clock limit, and I still played it way after that. It literally is clocked out at 999.59. Like, but I played it for, because I became a shiny hunter in Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my first game where I really became a shining hunter, like for a shiny Pokemon. So the clock got maxed out easily. But I've had a couple other games. Like I've got one of my other games. I've got 724 hours logged on it, and it doesn't log it if the game's shut. Like if you have your 3DS sleep mode, it doesn't count that. Mm-hmm. Your game has to be open, and it's constantly going, right? So
actual play time.
Yeah, and then for other hours I've sunk would be. I don't know. That would probably be my best bet. But like, I know I have had games where I've put like Dead Rising's one of those games where
put a lot
definitely
of hours
put
into
at least like a week's worth of hours, like a full week into that, and definitely Fallout, New Vegas.
Yeah,
I definitely put at least a week worth of hours into that, and Final Fantasy X. Yeah. I remember Final Fantasy X one summer. I stayed at my cousin's and out in Belleville, and that's all we played. We just grinded all day just to beat this game because no one else in our family could beat it, and we finally beat it. We're like, suck it.
We're so much better than everyone else.
Yep.
So definitely some solid choices. Me, it's a quick, easy one. There's two. My number one for sure has to be Age of Empires. Mm-hmm. I definitely have well over like 2,000, 3,000 hours into that game.
Okay.
And the other one is a game called Alien Chronicles: The First Mage for the N64, a game that most people have never heard of. At some point, we're probably going to do a podcast just on that where I'm going to have Kaz play it and then give me his thoughts because it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game.
He gets really excited whenever he brings it up. Mm-hmm. His tail starts wagging. Oh, you guys didn't know? TJ's
I have a tail.
Half dog? Oh, okay.
Oh, woof.
Woof.
I can't believe I just did that.
Bark, bark.
But getting ready to wrap up this podcast here today, as much fun as this has been, the kind of last thing that I want to touch on, kind of help people get to know us, is kind of a more serious question. And that's why we truly love video games as much as we do. And I know me personally, just to kind of start it off, when I was a kid, I was a fat kid, straight up. Same. And I had a learning disability, and I was, not just up to par with other kids my age. So I got made fun of mercilessly for that. Now on top of that, I was a fat kid, so they're like, oh, who's stupid fat kid, whatever. And for so long, it was just like every day was hell. Yeah. I point to this, by the way. And when I discovered that there was these different worlds I could go to and get lost in and escape all the bullshit for a few hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like, man, like I can be a hero here. I can be Link, or I can create my own character and do this, or I can be a wrestler and win the world championship. I'm like, man, like this is amazing. It was something that helped me so much as a kid to help kind of get through that, being able to have that escape and have that outlet when at the time I didn't have any other outlet and I didn't know how to deal with those kind of things. So now obviously as an adult, I can appreciate that. And it's still the same thing for me now.
Yeah.
Where if I have a rough day, for me, sitting down and getting lost in a video game is still, it's one of my best.
Oh, absolutely.
One of my best outlets I have.
And your description of that's something to me, like that's me, is like not the, I shouldn't say it's me, but like I didn't have the learning disability part. Mm-hmm. But I was a fat kid too. Like definitely was the fat kid, and I was gonna.
Which
make
is funny because like you're not fat anymore, and I'm still fat.
I'm kind of chubby. I have a belly.
Shut up.
Hey man, okay.
As you're like looking for it, like, hey, wait a minute, it's there somewhere. Way to go.
That reminds me of something I'll talk to you about after the podcast. But anyways, there's something happened today that was funny, and I gotta bring that up. It's about fat stuff. Okay. Anyways, but I was a fat kid. I was a fat kid, and so I was gonna make fun of. But yeah, like the thing for me that I realized when I got older was one day I had it out with my dad. He hates that I play video games. He hates it, and he's the one who started me off on it. So he feels like it's his fault. I'm like, well, no. I now have found a way to, like, I would have done this on my own. I would have figured it out.
For sure, yeah.
But the thing that video games do for me is, when I was a kid, obviously, okay, I don't want to come off as like an alcoholic here when I say this, but like when you're a kid, you can't drink beer to chill out, okay? And you can't like smoke cigarettes because, your parents are going to be like, I'm not buying you beer. And, anyways, no. But that was...
Timmy, you're 7.
before you get to adulthood, you don't have a lot of coping mechanisms, and people think kids have it so easy, and some of them do because they're entitled little brats, and I hate them. And I hope you die, Timmy. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I don't know anyone named Timmy. Anyways, so no, and that was always the thing for me is I had it out like not anytime recently. I just know my dad hates that I play video games, but recently, a while ago, I had it out with him, and he said, "I don't understand why you waste your time on video games." And I kind of just looked at him, and all I could think was, to me, it's not wasting time. This is my escape. This is my coping mechanism, and this is how I've done it my whole life, and it really does help.
Absolutely.
People do not get it. It doesn't matter if you're trying to accomplish something in life, and someone says, "Oh, he's wasting his life on a video game." Anybody that you know that's a hardcore gamer is a hardcore gamer because they are escaping something that they are trying, not in a bad way. And I'm not saying it's like, I shouldn't say escaping. It's coping.
I know what you're saying though.
It's a coping mechanism that helps us get through our lives. And by no means should you replace your life with video games.
Absolutely
but
not,
you should definitely enjoy them in the sense that they are intended for. They are to get away from this, like this world. It's a crazy world we live in, and we get to go and we get to adventure in these great places like a wasteland that's completely just been nuked. We get to go to a world full of random creatures that would never exist on our planet, and we get to go save the princess. We get to go jump on mushrooms' heads, and these things are they're so fun, and they're so iconic, not because they're like what's the word I'm looking for? Not just because they have been around for 20 years, but because of what they based it off of. Is what I feel. And that is my response to why do I play video games and why. It's not about just being the best. It's never been about being the best. It's about literally, the
experience
you getting you get to just be in your own realm, and it's peaceful, and nobody can come into that realm but you.
For a couple hours of your life.
Yeah, and then someone comes in and goes, "Okay, back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Oops, there goes gravity. You got it. Yeah." And then, and then you're just like,
The one thing I have to add to that, someone said to me one time, "Well, you're wasting time playing video games. You sat in front of that TV for 2.5 hours watching shows." Yeah.
What did you accomplish?
What have you accomplished?
Well, I know the season finale to Big Bang Theory now. Good for you. Good for you.
I find the people that most of the time who in my past who have said things like that to me, I'm like, you're literally, or you're just sitting looking at your phone on Facebook. It's the same thing.
I hate it. Like,
and
it's my biggest pet peeve with my dad when he goes, he doesn't want to, he never likes buying me video games. If he gives me money and he sees that I go and buy a video game, he's like, I hate that. And I'm just like, so you're telling me you'd rather me be like you, sit in front, and I'm not getting into politics, but watch Donald Trump pull his pants down and shit all over the place. Like, really? Is that more productive at the end of the night? You could be doing so much more. You show me you want to be more productive, and then, but
I get what you're saying. And like it's just, everyone has their own outlets and everyone has things they like to do to entertain themselves.
Yeah.
And that's how I like to entertain
we all
ourselves.
cope. Yeah. We all cope differently, and it's just like, who cares? Like, why you gotta harsh my mellow, man?
Hell yeah.
And so there you go. We're passionate gamers, and that's why you
Yes.
should totally tune in to these podcasts.
Yes. That's why you should totally subscribe right now. Podcast. That's why you should totally subscribe right now to our Podbean if you are currently listening on that. www.2guysandagame, that is TWO2 guys and a game.podbean.com. Go ahead and sign up for the Podbean, subscribe to us. We appreciate that. You can also check us on all of these social medias, which I will now list. We have ourselves the Twitter, which is 2guys AA That's just AA game because someone took the name, but that's another story. Also check us out on the Instagram, 2guysandagame podcast. You can hit us up anytime by emailing us at 2guysandagame podcast. On the Facebook, 2guysandagame podcast. We're working on getting the iTunes up and running. We're working on getting Stitcher and Google Play and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, we turned Spotify down. We were just like, sorry guys.
Screw
You guys are
Spotify,
just
man.
like,
Spotify sucks.
they don't even have a customer call center for when somebody's credit card number I'm not going to get into that. I'm not stupid.
Guys, anything you want to add before we head off today?
Just your jacket. Just kidding.
That's the best. Okay, guys. So I've been Hotter.
I'm Kaz.
And we will catch you guys next time in the next episode of Two Guys and a Game.
Featuring donkeys. Just kidding.
Donkeys! Take it easy, guys.